Hello, this is the Silver Watchman, and welcome back to Jacket and Jill. This is episode number 3. Now, this game had picked up in intensity and difficulty. So as a result, about maybe 45 minutes or more of just nothing but deaths have been edited out. They didn't make the cut. So the ones you do see are the ones that were just like, yeah. Okay, so in the last episode we went over what love is. Now we're going to go over why we need to love. We need to love because we ourselves want to be loved. We were made in the image of God, and God Himself wants to be loved, but He also has so much love that He wants to share His love with us. He made us a very long time ago. No two humans are exactly the same, but that doesn't mean that some of us aren't similar to others. Think of it like a snowflake. A lot of snowflakes from afar look the same. So, but when you take a really, really close look at a snowflake and you have two of them that look kind of similar, you realize, oh wait, they don't look the same. They're all different, and yet they all are the same thing. That's what it kind of is with being human. We are all pretty much, we're all human. You know, all the humans at least. All the humans are human. But no two humans are exactly the same. Now, the reason why we love and we feel this longing to love is that is what God made us to do. We are made in His image with sovereign will, meaning free will. But naturally, we get lonely. Since we're made in the image of God, we are a model, a small model of God. Now, when you make anybody that's ever worked with models or anything, they'll tell you the model is always like a representation of the real thing. Like, say you have a model jet. A model jet is not going to be able to do the same things as a real jet will be able to do. Now, if it can fly, it won't be able to fly as fast. If it can carry stuff, it won't be able to carry as much stuff. You know what I mean? You catching my drift here? The same thing for humans. We are made in the image of God, a model. So therefore, we also have the same emotions as God himself. So, God gets angry. God gets sad. God cries. And God bleeds. And it is by his blood that we have salvation. He was willing to let his blood be spilled. So none of us would have to face death. Even facing death. Now, when we as humans love, unless we're taught properly how to love, we won't understand what love really is or how to use it, because love is a very, very powerful tool. It could bring somebody to do an amazing feat. It could also drive them insane if they don't understand what it is. Because love isn't a feeling. That feeling is not love. That is what is known as a strong bond, or a strong being drawn to. That is just, you're drawn to that. So that's not love. Love is very, like I said, once we get to that point in the Bible where, like, you know, it even talks about what love is, then a lot of this is going to make a little more sense. Now back to why we love. We love because that's what we're made to do. We're not made to harbor anger and hatred. That's why, like, when you hold anger in for a long time, it'll make you sick. And it just, by us loving, we also want to be loved. Part of the purpose of life is to love, but not to love the world. Because for us to love something that's going to fall apart, that's where I get to the point where love can drive you insane. Because if you love only things that'll fall apart, you'll constantly be desperate to make that thing that you love not fall apart, and you're willing to go to crazy lengths so it doesn't fall apart. But it always does. Part of the reason why why we were made to love and allowed to love is so we can experience the same joy that God has when we come to Him, or just in general. He's just waiting for those that are not saved to just come to Him. Even for those that are saved, to just talk to Him. In His eyes, it's no bother at all to just, for you to just talk to Him. Ask for His help. It's no bother at all. Now, by Him making us in His image, that in itself is an act of love. Because He could have made us look like anything. I mean, think about it. We're His creations. He could have made us look like Sid from Ice Age. All doofy looking. And I mean, technically, he already, made the animal like that. He made the ostrich, which I don't know if anybody's ever seen an ostrich run or just looked at an ostrich. Those are just some of the doofiest looking birds I've ever seen in my entire life. They run goofy. They just have like a doofy face. Gotta hold it together. Alright. So oh good gosh, it's so funny. Sorry. So we all have this need to love. Like a parent will have this need to love their child. But sometimes, a parent doesn't know how to love their child because they don't understand what love is themselves. Or like your brother and sister, you guys love each other, but you don't understand how to love your family. And like another thing you got to learn to do is you got to learn to love yourself. Not so much that you become a god in your own eyes. Remember what happened to Pharaoh. That's what happens when you have a little too much love for yourself. You become very prideful, very arrogant, and your heart becomes very hard, and then next thing you know, you're dead. Very dead. So yeah. But yeah, part of the reason why God made us to love is so we can experience that joy in loving. That joy in loving God, in loving our brothers, our sisters, our friends, our parents. And yeah, some people are very hard to love. That's why I also went over that in the last episode, where love is a choice. You could choose to love somebody. choosing to love them. Meaning you're willing to help them out in a pinch. That's showing love. You're patient with them. That's showing love. And yes, I know it's hard to be very loving all the time. Okay, I'm one of those people, like, I wake up, I'm grumpy when I wake up. I get grumpy when I'm hungry. So, and part of that's showing love is what is described as being a neighbor. Now, I get it. It's hard to love some people. But God still decided to love you. He chose that. We love because God loves. God made us in His image, so naturally we are going to love like how God loves. If we understand how to love and what it actually is, what it means to love. I mean, think about it with this little blob. Look at the extents that he's going. For the thing that he loves, which is, I assume, his wife or girlfriend. I don't really know. That doesn't specify this game at all. Maybe it did at the beginning and I wasn't paying attention. But because he loves Jill, he's willing to go through these insane obstacles, risking life and death. More often not death, because, yeah, just for the person that he loves. And that in itself is what love is. You're willing to go to the extremes on their behalf instead of your own. And loving yourself means that you're willing to kind of look at yourself and saying, yeah, I have my flaws, but I still matter. I still matter. But you gotta be careful when it comes to like loving yourself. If you do it too much, then you become vain. So it's a very, very, very small niche to get. But if you don't have any love for yourself at all, then you fall into depression. Because then you feel like your life doesn't matter, when in reality, you matter very much. Because you wouldn't exist at all if you didn't matter. The things that do not matter do not exist. That's something to think about, right? Now, when you make the decision to be loving, it's not an easy decision all the time, and sometimes that's not even the right decision. Sometimes you need to be... No, wait. Oh my God, God says, love your neighbor. Never mind. Yeah, it is the right decision. But there's there are different ways of going about it. There is, when you love somebody and they're about to like say they're about to jump in a cliff, are you gonna be like entirely supportive of them and like jumping off that cliff so they can die? That's allowing their suicide, which sends them to hell. You don't want that. What you want instead is in that situation, the right thing to do, the most loving thing to do would be to grab them, pull them away from the cliff, and then slap them possibly a few times and just be like, yo, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing that? Don't do that. No. That would be the loving thing, like talking some sense into them, or at least in my case, slapping some sense into them. Which, I mean, it does depend on the person and their mental state. Now, when you choose... Alright. When we love, we get this, like God had built it into us to encourage us to be more loving. Now, when we are loving, we have a chemical in our brain that just like makes us like, happy and like, yeah, that's what people are like, yeah, this is love. No. That's a reaction to being loving. And so it's like a reward system. And when we are angry and hateful and spiteful, we don't feel so good all the time. We feel like it's very easy to get depressed when you have that mental state. Now, depression can happen no matter what. Some people that's just part of their struggle. That's just what their flesh wants to do, is just be depressed. And it's like you just don't have energy to just get up. And in times like that, that's when you gotta say to yourself, I was put here for a reason. I matter. I matter at least to God. Now, depression can hit anybody. And when you have a hard time loving yourself, you can get depressed. That's why we're made to love. It's just part of us. So when we don't, we struggle to find joy and energy to do anything. Because that's part of what we're made to do. Is love. And I know I'm talking in circles, and I apologize for that. But in a way, it's needed. Now, if you're suffering through depression, then I would say maybe your best bet is to go and ask God to aid you with that. That's what I've done in the past whenever I have my small bouts of depression. And once you give it to God, then God will handle it in a way that works best for you. Now, what that way is, I don't know, because it's a way that works best for you. And when we don't love, then it becomes very difficult for us to, in a way, love ourselves, which is what will lead to depression. Now, my bouts of depression happen because, I'm like, I have this habit where, like, I just kind of like, I'll put myself down unnecessarily. Like, that was my way of, at first, counteracting my really, really extreme arrogance. At first, it helped out with it, but then it kind of, so part of the reason that we need to love and be loved, and why God says, for us to love our neighbors, is because our neighbors are, in a way, they're like us, but they're not the same way exactly like us, but they're similar, meaning any other human. So, just like how you need to be loved, they need to be loved too. And I understand that is a very, very hard thing to do at times. Even I have my moments where I'm just like, I just want to just bop somebody And in some cases, that's the right thing to do. In some, not in all cases. In most cases, the right thing to do is just to be patient and understanding with them. Sometimes, yeah, somebody needs a slap to like wake up, but not all the time. Now, when we don't love, and we're not loving at all, we, for some reason, feel like we aren't loved. Now, I'm not the perfect, person when it comes to showing love at all, or even saying it. Because I'm very, I'm a very shy individual, so for me, to tell somebody that I love them, that's a very, very rare thing. More often than not, I'll just, if you need help, I'll help you out. And that's my way of being loving, is having your back, or when you need to have somebody set you straight, I try to do that. Everybody has their own way of being loving. Even I have my own way of that. So yeah, we need love because that is it keys into just so many other things. It makes us, in a way, feel more human, because when we just feel like this machine of yes. Yeah. So it can be very hard to love other people, but keep in mind, we need to. Because God loves you despite your flaws, and He loves me despite mine. So many flaws. So many flaws. And he's patient with us, and that's something that we got to try to do, is just be loving to others, because they could be having a bad day. No, I'm not the best at being very loving, but God is helping me with that, and He'll help you too. Because we without that, it becomes very hard to walk with God. Because while you walk with God, sharing in love is part of how we be obedient to him, because we have to love God. And for you to love means that you're willing to sacrifice for whatever you love. And God also made it within us that, like a reward system, like we feel good after we give and help out, and even like during the time that we're helping out or giving, it'll feel like it sucks, but then afterwards, then you kind of have this feeling of, yeah, a good thing was done. So that's why we need to love, because we ourselves want to be loved. But if we're not showing love to anybody else, then and don't just be loving the people that are, you're just like close friends or close family, but even those people that honestly kind of suck, because it'll reach them. It'll reach them at some point. And when we show the love of God, it touches people. So, yeah, thanks for sitting through the whole video. This is honestly, it's an honor to be able to do this. I enjoy doing this. So I say, glory be to God, and blessings be upon you. This is a Silver Watchman, signing out.